Bayley's got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Tonight on Monday Night Raw, what began as routine action took a dark turn, and one of WWE's most beloved characters showed a side fans haven't quite seen in a while. Bayley, usually the role model with a smile, the cheering crowds, and warm embraces, snapped. Something about Raquel Rodriguez's brutal attack on Lyra Valkyria pushed Bayley over the edge. In the aftermath, chaos, emotion, confrontation, and reactions across arenas, social media, and locker rooms that ranged from shock to admiration to concern. Here's what went down, how we arrived here, the undercurrents, and what it all might mean moving forward. Setting the stage, relationships, rivalries, and tensions. To understand why Bayley's loss of control felt so jarring, it helps to trace the path to this moment. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria have worked together as allies in recent weeks. They've suffered losses, celebrated small victories, supported each other, all while battling Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, Liv, Morgan, and others who've stood in their way. Lyra, in particular, has been fighting to earn respect, to establish herself as a credible champion or contender in the women's intercontinental division. Raquel Rodriguez, as a member of Judgment Day, has often been one of the more physically imposing and aggressive forces in the women's division. Her alignment with Judgment Day gives her strength in numbers, plenty of opportunity for interference, and a reputation for violence, often unprovoked, or at least ruthless. Bayley's role has been complex. She is capable, popular, sometimes underutilized. She has history. Injuries, setbacks, comebacks. Fans have both cheered her and chided her, depending on booking decisions, victories, or losses. Bayley has served as mentor, ally, tag partner. She's also been portrayed at times as the underdog, sometimes the heart of the struggle. So when Raquel attacked Lyra, whether during a match, post-match, or backstage, it set off more than just a physical altercation. It triggered something emotional in Bayley. Protective instinct, frustration from seeing Lyra suffer, perhaps old wounds from Bayley's own removal, real or storyline, from big moments. The attack, Raquel's blow and Lyra's plight. Raquel's aggression toward Lyra was harsh. From behind or during a moment when Lyra was vulnerable, Raquel pounced, pushing, striking, forcing Lyra into a precarious spot. Maybe Lyra had just won a hard-fought match or made a near fall. Maybe she had just been saved from something by Bayley or had the crowd's support. Either way, Raquel's move was not just opportunistic. It seemed calculated. To humiliate, to send a message, to shake Lyra's confidence. Lyra, ever courageous, tried to fight back, straining to protect herself, to resist Raquel's control. It was a messy, chaotic moment. The ring apron, the ropes, the crowd ramp, perhaps even a run-in from Judgment Day's associate or interference to distract. Lyra was hurting, but she showed grit. But that's where Bayley came in. Bayley's reaction, breaking point, and outburst. At first, Bayley's reaction seemed like any loyal friend or tag partner. Concern, rushing to the ring, calling out Raquel, trying to pull her away. But something in Bayley's face, her posture, her voice, showed the line had been crossed. All the previous losses, all the perceived slights and moments where things felt unfair, all the times she wanted to protect Lyra but couldn't or was held back. Tonight, it boiled over. Bayley ramped up her aggression. She confronted Raquel physically, maybe pushing, striking back, perhaps even throwing a punch or two. She may have argued with referees, demanded justice, tried to get Lyra away. If Raquel tried to regain control, Bayley likely clung to Lyra's side, refused to back down, even at risk of disqualification. The loses control moment came when Bayley went further than expected. Perhaps interference turned nasty. Perhaps Bayley attacked Raquel with something uncharacteristic. A chair, a low blow, a choke, or an over-the-top slam. The audience gasped, Commentators stuttered. The ring became chaotic. Observers noticed. Her eyes weren't just angry, they were burning with something deeper: anger, betrayal, maybe even desperation. It was clear this was not just about Lyra. It was about Bayley's own story, being held back, being hurt, being removed from big moments, waiting for respect. Fan shock and backstage buzz. Reaction is immediate. As soon as Bayley's outburst happened, fans in the arena and watching at home were stunned. Social media lit up. Tweets, clips, memes, shock, praise, concern. Some fans cheered the ferocity. Finally, Bayley shows fire. Others worried, is this a heel turn? Is Bayley losing herself in anger? Some longtime fans felt protective of Bayley. Loss of control can come across as emotional strength, but also as vulnerability, maybe even risk. Backstage, whispers circulated. Wrestlers asked, did Bayley go too far? Is this being planned? Or are creative writers leaning into a more aggressive Bayley character? Or is this an unplanned escalation? Was this a way to deepen her storyline, make her more relatable, more intense? Or was it risky for her character, losing fans who like her as the loyal, empathetic face of WWE's women's division? The turning point. Consequences. Character development. Bayley's behavior tonight changes the narrative in important ways. New character complexity. Bayley is no longer just Bayley the underdog or Bayley the empathic former champion. She becomes someone who is willing to cross lines, to get bloody, to take risks, even risking disqualification for what she believes is right. That adds shades of gray. Is she still a face? Could she start heelish behavior? Will her moral standing become murkier? Lyra's role. Lyra Valkyria, as the one being attacked and protected, is elevated. Her vulnerability makes the audience root more for her. Her resilience is more deeply felt. She owes Bayley, but also might feel complicated toward Bayley if Bayley's actions put her in danger. There's potential for tension, for gratitude, for confrontation if Bayley causes collateral damage. Raquel's status. By attacking Lyra and provoking Bayley, Raquel reinforces her villain credentials. But if Bayley's outburst overshadows Raquel, Raquel may face backlash in storyline for pushing Bayley too far. It creates opportunity. Raquel versus Bayley feud, Raquel versus Lyra, or perhaps multi-person matches. Match outcomes and booking. With Bayley losing control, disqualifications may happen. Matches may be booked with stipulations. No disqualification, street fight, anything goes. Bayley may get a singles match or high-stakes match against Raquel, or may challenge for titles. Creative may tilt toward exploring Bayley's anger, her motivations, her limit. Historical underpinnings. Why this resonates. Bayley has history with being removed from big matches or sidelined, sometimes by storyline, sometimes by injury. WWE once wrote her out of WrestleMania tag match as a planned twist, not real injury, but fans often felt she was underutilized. Her alliances and betrayals have been part of her arc, as part of Bayley's identity is fighting back when she's been pushed aside. Lyra Valkyria is relatively new, but her story is compelling. First Intercontinental Champion, resilient, continually tested. Bayley's protective role has been central, but also sometimes frustrating for fans who want Bayley to step out of Lyra's shadow or be more than just the supporting protector. Raquel's role as a powerful heel in Judgment Day, not afraid to hurt others, to use numbers or dirty tactics, has long set her up as someone who draws opposition. So this moment tonight felt like the natural culmination of several build-ups.